December in Cincinnati. The Bengals at 31 points in the first half, 30 in the second half. They won it with touchdowns like this by Craig Taylor, 61-7. This was Sam Weiss last year.
They were never in the game, and in any aspect of it. And they were cocky and doing all their talking, and their coach doing all of his talking and all that kind of stuff before the game, and they got humiliated.
A lot of guys still feel that if we get a chance to blow them out, we will try to blow them out, not to punish the players, but the same coach is still there.
Remember the Alamo, and they did in Texas. Sam was aware of it. Jack Hardy wasn't there at the time, but he was aware of it too. Warren Moon was intercepted early, and Craig Taylor, he scored a touchdown last year. 2-yard touchdown here. The Bengals and Sam Weiss lead at 7-0. What's the problem? Well, here was the problem. Warren Moon went deep repeatedly. This time to Tony Jones. Beautiful throw, 33 yards. We're tied at 7. Bengals grab a 10-7 lead on a Jim Breeks field goal. But then, Moon to Drew Hill. Got it. 33 yards again. They like that number. 14-10 Oilers, Tommy.
Beauty of this pass, Chris, is that Moon looked the defense off as he got back into his drop, throws a perfect pass to Drew Hill for the touchdown.
Bengals had problems. Eddie Brown never dressed. Tim McGee played, then had to leave because of an injury. Boomer Esiason to Rodney Holman, even when he was on. No, he was off. Richard Johnson returns it not for 33 yards, but for 30 yards. Touchdown, 21-10 Oilers. We see a trend starting here. Oilers get the ball back quickly. Moon deep to Leonard Harris. Watch him spin and pull it away from Carl Carter. 42 yards, 28-10. For Boomer Esiason, who threw for 490 last week. Today, a different story. Hit by Al Smith. It's a fumble. Leander Knight recovers, leads to a field goal. Interesting. 31 points by the Oilers in the first half. 31-10 at the half. These were Boomer's numbers. Second half, the Oilers, Bruce Matthews and company, this is all right. You know that? Warren Moons or Ernest Gibbons. Tommy, where do you go to school?
Louisville.
Nice play.
And the kid from Louisville gives Billups a little shake and bake at the line of scrimmage. Billups goes inside, Gibbons outside. Touchdown.
38-10. Ensuing kickoff. Mitchell Price is met by number 94, Glenn Montgomery, right there. And look at the helmet goes off, and look at Montgomery with the helmet. Get that out of here. Oilers back on offense soon. Moon. Haywood Jeffrey. Touchdown. 45-17. 5 different Oilers caught Warren Moon touchdown passes. Warren for the day eclipsed the 20,000-yard barrier for his career, we should say, in the NFL. First to do it in the NFL and the CFL. Pay-up time, big time, 48-17. The Oilers over the Bengals, although afterwards, Sam Weiss said he holds no grudges.
They felt like there was a score run-up last year. There's no such animal in the National Football League. I remember in 1987, we had a 15-point lead with 7.5 minutes to go, and we sat on the ball and lost the game to Houston in Cincinnati.
And it's over with now. Maybe it was a godsend that, hey, it happened now, and we can forget about it by the time Week 15 rolls around.
After the game at the Astrodome, they played the song by Scandal, "Goodbye to You," meaning to the Bengals, but you were down in Houston this week. Tell me, were you surprised that they had this in their back of the mind to win big?
Not at all. I think they had it in the front of their mind, Chris. When you talk about a team wanting to blow somebody out, the first thing you want to look at when you look at that extra hustle, it comes in the special teams area and on receptions by your offense are those offensive linemen getting downfield and making that extra block. I saw all of those things from the Houston Oilers today, including helmets being lost by the Bengals.
Tommy, you know I loved the Oilers today, and I enjoyed this game so much, I was moved to something like poetry. There is little joy in Oilville, although the Oilers won. They exacted some revenge, but they didn't quite make 61. Chris?
December 23rd, circle it on your calendar. Oilers at Bengals. Stay tuned. Guy's been tuned in this year, Warren Moon. Now, I know it's early. When Dan Marino set all of those records back in 1984, the records in throwing for 5,084 yards and 48 TDs, his first 6 games against Moon's first 6 games, Warren has thrown for more yards in that run-and-shoot offense. Touchdowns are close. Could be some more records. Moon set one today, doing it north of the border around here. We'll see if he eclipses some more. We'll be back. Keep you updated on the golf here on NFL Primetime. They are on the first playoff hole in Las Vegas. John Cook, I know you have him axe plus a half a stroke. He missed a birdie attempt, just hit the pin. He's lying on the green in 3. Bob Tway is on the fringe of the green in 2. We'll keep you updated. That's the first sudden death playoff hole in the very rich Las Vegas Invitational. All right, New Orleans Saints at home against the Cleveland Browns today. Question, how long would it take Steve Walsh to replace John Fourcade at quarterback for the Saints this year? Oh, about a game and a quarter. That's what happened today. Yes, John Fourcade, 4 minutes into the second quarter, sitting on the bench. Steve Walsh is in. And on 4th and 1, Walsh capping off a 79-yard drive. It's Dalton Hilliard. The Saints sit at 9-3. Third quarter, Walsh to Floyd Turner. Where's the defense? 45 yards, 16-6 Saints. Fourth quarter, Walsh to Eric Martin. Caught 8 passes, 7 from Walsh today. 23-6. Steve Walsh threw for 243 yards and 3 touchdowns. Been a long year for this man. Brian Wagner for the 4th time this year. Block! Robert Massey gets his hand on this one. And it rumbled. Oh, it's out of the end zone, but it's a safety. 25-6. Paul Lanham, special teams, and the Browns will say, you know what, let's try it ourselves. Jock Jones blocks the punt. Stephen Bragg runs it out at the 17, setting up. It's a pretty long 1-yard run, folks, but that's what it is. Kevin Mack makes it 25-20. But Bud Carson's Browns had the ball deep in their own territory late in the game. A couple of Hail Marys didn't work, and the Saints beat the Cleveland Browns by the count of 25-20. Dalton Hilliard scored 18 touchdowns last year. Finally got his first touchdown this season for the Saints this year. Saints in the last 3+ seasons, 13-0 against the AFC. Next, they're at Houston. That's next week. Chargers at the Jets in the Meadowlands. Problems all day for the Jets. Boy, they look great or they look terrible. Joe Prokop drops the snap, hits, fumble. The Chargers take over in Jets territory. After a Jet goal line stand, Ken O'Brien gives it right back. Bert Grossman with the sack. Chargers lead it on a 2-run homer, 2-0. The Jets would grab the 3-2 lead on a homer by Darryl Strawberry. But Joe Prokop in trouble again, holds onto the ball, taken down at the 5. Very next play, Marion Butt, 26 carries, 121 yards, and a pair of touchdowns. The Chargers lead at 16-3. They go on to roll the New York Jets by the count of 39-3. So Chargers, once they play somebody in the AFC Central, they have a shot, it seems. Lions at the Chiefs. Barry Sanders yet to get 100 yards this year, but he was the go-to guy today. Bob Galliano dumps it off to Sanders. Looking to blow by the Kansas City defense. Make Derek Thomas miss. On the way, look at him go. 53 yards. The Lions lead at 14-3. But the Chiefs would roll up 26 unanswered points. Christian Okoye in from the 1-yard line. He had 91 yards, 29-14. But the man of whom you cannot say one discouraging word, Barry Word, from his own 47, exploding down the right sideline for a 53-yard touchdown. And the Chiefs lead at 36-17. In the fourth quarter, the debut of Heisman Trophy winner Andre Ware. Smart. He says, I got Barry Sanders on my team. I'll dump it off. Look at him. Get through the Kansas City defense down to the 36-yard line. Ware to Jason Phillips on the out pattern to the 8. Ware looks like he's run this offense before. Yes, he has. Ware to the veteran James Wilder, wide open. Detroit's within 36-24, within a dozen points. But again, the final word was Barry Word. Rumbles for 30 yards, 18 carries, 200 yards. A Kansas City rushing record for one game. The Chiefs, yeah, they hung the Lions with 566 yards of total offense. The Chiefs beat the Detroit Lions by the count of 43-24. Except the Chiefs stumbled last week, and then they looked bad in the first quarter against Detroit. They came rolling back. And to keep you updated on the golf, Bob Tway, a winner. He wins it on the first sudden death playoff hole. He beats John Cook. I don't know. We'll have to figure out if your half stroke is good enough or not. Tway, the winner in sudden death in Las Vegas. When we return, some big games. The Giants and the Redskins for first place in the NFC East. The Falcons try to handle the 49ers. What other ideas? Barry Word played 19 games before today with the Saints and the Chiefs, had a total of 214 yards. But in one day, he was the Word. Welcome back to Primetime. Roger Craig was out of the lineup today for the San Francisco 49ers as they went into Hotlanta, a team they only beat by 6 points earlier this season in a game at Candlestick Park. So who would run the ball for the 49ers? Who needs to run when you have Joe Montana and Jerry Rice? The Falcons found it out the hard way. Roger on the sidelines. Do they need him? Well, early on, first series, the Falcons rookie Steve Broussard fumbles. Bill Romanowski makes the hit, Keith DeLong recovers. And a minute into the game, the Falcons pay for it. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. How often have we seen it? You'll see it repeatedly. 24 yards at 7-0 49ers. But not to be outdone, the next series, Chris Miller to Andre Bad Moon Ricin. 75 yards, nice dance, tied at 7. What's the matter with Joe Montana? I mean, he even gets intercepted. Boy, he stinks, doesn't he, Tom? Charlie Dimry picks it off, but what's he doing here?
It's not good to celebrate against Montana until the gun goes off.
Yeah, Montana. Jerry Rice, he gets belted on the play, but Rice catches it 14-7 against who? Charles Dimry.
Cornerback Dimry stays in his back pedal too long, lets Rice get right on top of him. He's beat. Then you see the Atlanta secondary again. Dimry beat by Mike Sherrard. And besides the fact that they got beat, they did a poor job of tackling after the ball was caught.
Doug Shively, defensive coordinator. This isn't good. Falcons special teams, this is good. George Thomas blocks the punt. Oh, let me tell you about Bobby Butler. Touchdown, we're tied at 14. But the 49ers have their own special team. Joe to Jerry. 19 yards, 28-14. Chris Miller says, that's all right. I'm going to keep trying, but... And he does, as he hits Andre Ricin. Using Ricin all day. Here to Ricin, setting up a touchdown. It's going to be 31-21 Niners at the half at Jerry Glanville's birthday. Ricin caught 9 passes to try and make it a happy one for his coach. Rice and Roger Craig said, you know what? You're just getting Joe interested. When Joe's interested, the rest of the league is in trouble. Montana, Jerry Rice, touchdown, 38-21. Joe on the day, 6 touchdown passes. The NFL record is 7, threw for 476 yards, 11th best in NFL history. Fourth quarter, 2nd and goal, Montana to guess who? Jerry Rice, 5 touchdown receptions for Rice. 40th birthday for Jerry Glanville. No, it was his 49th birthday. Yeah, and Jerry Rice helped ruin it. 13 for 225 and 5 touchdown receptions. Montana throwing for 6. What can we say there? Simply unbelievable as the Niners win it by the count of 45-35. Fun game to watch, Axe, if you like pinball machines.
Well, it certainly was. And, you know, people still laugh about Jerry Glanville. They think his country music and his country expressions and his Elvis routine are hokey. But the fact is, this guy took over a bunch of mediocre players, a bunch of defensive backs who aren't that good, and these guys, as weak as they may be at some positions, are playing very hard for him. That black magic works, Chris.
It does. An update, by the way, on Chris Miller. He went to the hospital and to leave the game in the fourth quarter, but we checked with the hospital, sprained right knee. He left the hospital, is gone home, not on crutches, just with a knee brace, didn't seem to be in any pain, and doctors say that they expect him to play next week. The doctors arrested around the league hope that Montana and Rice don't play again because what they did today was unbelievable. The Niners thought they'd be pressed today by Atlanta, so they got a little bit interested, and the results showed on the scoreboard. Packers at the Buccaneers. Last year was the Packers, the team on the move in the NFC Central. This year, it's the Tampa Bay Bucks, and they met down in very hot and steamy Tampa Stadium, the Big Sombrero. 83 degrees, the Packers playing their 3rd straight road game. The heat didn't hurt Steve Christie. Lightning striking again and again and again and again. 4 for 4 for Christie. He's hit 11 in a row on the season. The Bucks lead 9-0 at this point. Vinny Testaverde. Look at Bruce Hill, the diving catch. Boy, Vinny is smooth, Tom.
We're learning that when he gets the time, he can make a lot of things happen. Here he hits Mark Carrier on the crossing pattern. As we take another look at the pattern, Mark finds the weakness in the zone, gets open, makes the nice catch for a 16-yard gain.
Later in that drive on 2nd and 5, Vinny Testaverde came into the game, the #1 rated passer in the NFL. Deron Hall for 14 yards at 60-0 Buccaneers. Vinny throwing for almost 300 yards today. We've been calling for him for 3 years. Said that he could read the defenses better than anybody. Don Mikowski couldn't read much today, but the Packers get a break. Harry Hamilton is going to be hit by Herman Fontenot. It's a fumble. Nobody gets a handle. Oh, field judge Bob Wortman doesn't get the handle, but he continued. Packers get a touchdown. It's 19-7 now. That's the only thing that went Green Bay's way. Oh, let me tell you about Wade Haddix. 29 yards, a touchdown. He had 2 interceptions today. The Bucs, walking years, that's right. 4-2. They beat the Green Bay Packers 26-14. Late game in Phoenix. Talk about a hot place. The Cards hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Big day for Roy Green. He passes Jackie Smith with his 482nd reception. The Cardinal all-time receiving leader. Still 27 yards shy of the mark, of the yardage mark. Alonzo Highsmith fumbles. Lonnie Young recovers for the Cards. Anthony Thompson, 1-yard run. 7-0 Phoenix. Troy Aikman's had better days. Under pressure, lofts it to Kelvin Martin. Jake Taylor rips it away from Martin. Makes the nice move here. It goes up to the 47-yard line. Rough day for Aikman as the Cardinals go on to beat the Dallas Cowboys 20-3. And in that game, Johnny Johnson ran for 120 yards. First Cardinal in a couple of years to do that. So they got some youngsters in the backfield. Phoenix with 414 yards in total offense. And we return the Giants and the Redskins and more. But first, how good have the receivers been? Jerry Rice, Andre Rice. Well, this is their stats. Now, they've only played 5 games. They're both on a pace to eclipse the record of 106 catches made in one season by Art Monk and eclipse the yardage record of Charlie Hennigan in one season, 1,746. This shall be interesting. Like MacArthur, we shall return. A reminder, when primetime is over, we will show you what happened and how the Bob Tway-John Cook playoff ended in Las Vegas. Late afternoon game at RFK between the Giants and the Redskins. The Redskins were singing Joe Cocker's hit tune from a year ago. I just want to be there beside you when the night comes. Beside you, that means first place tie in the NFC East. When the night came, were they there? Stan Humphries start in a tough spot against the Giants. The youngster under pressure. Cooley scrambles for 11 yards here. The Redskins ate up 10 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock. Ernest Biner running for 12 yards. The drive only resulted in a Chip Low-Miller field goal. It was 3-0. Second quarter, 3rd and 6. Humphries has some time to hit Arthur Monk for 31 yards. Bill Parcells looking for the Giants to make some plays like that. And Phil Simms on 3rd and 10 from the shotgun. Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker. Let's get him go. He could go all the way. 80 yards. The Giants lead at 7-3 at the half. In the third quarter, 2nd and 10 at the 20. Simms to Mark Bavaro. Open behind Alvin Walton. Who says he's hurt? He rumbles for 62 yards. Sets up an O.J. Anderson 5-yard touchdown. Giants lead 14-6. Trickery. Ernest Biner to Ricky Sanders. Touchdown. The Giants lead us down to 14-13. Simms found a weakness, Tommy, in the Skins D.
He hits Maurice Carthon here right in the seam in the zone, and you can't let the fullback go 63 yards with a pass reception.
Gerald Riggs hands a goal line stand. 1 yard out. It's a 21-20 Giant lead. Late in the fourth, Glendetta's punt hits Johnny Thomas. Renee Thompson recovers, sets up a field goal, makes it 24-20. The interception by Greg Jackson pulls it out from Sanders. And the Giants hold on to win it 24-20. An excellent game. The Giants' best start. They're at 5-0. Their best start since 1941. Seahawks at the Raiders. Mo Jackson going to play next week. Howie Long in a few weeks. They're on the sidelines. Raiders grabbed an early 14-0 lead. Jay Schrader to the reborn Ethan Horton. 21-0. Raiders. Schrader, 14 of 17 at this point. After Seattle touchdown made it 21-7. Ron Brown in the ensuing kickoff. Stripped by the youngster Chris Warren. Jeff Chadwick recovers. The Seahawks cash in. Dave Craig. Ever since that first game against the Bears, he's been on it. Long throw, 31 yards to Tommy Kane. 21-14 Raiders at the half. In the third quarter, the score 21-14. Still the Seahawks driving, 2nd and goal. Greg Townsend strips the ball out of Craig's hand. Bill Pickell falls on it. Craig has, Tommy, you pointed out on the show before, the small hands. Sometimes he has the problem fumbling the football. That time it hurt him big time. The Raiders have swept the Seahawks for the first time since 1981. They played in Oakland then. They win it 24-17. Steelers at the Denver Nuggets. With Bobby Humphrey out, somebody to pick up the slack. How about Alexander Inglis? No, he's no longer there. Well, did John Elway getting a first down on his own here on 3rd and long. Broncos offense clicking early, play action. Steve Sewell's in there. Broncos lead at 17-7. But why do we call them the Nuggets? No score is too much, no lead is safe. Joe Wolf simplifying the offense, sending in the plays with the signals. Bubby likes it. Brister to big Eric Green, the first-round pick from Liberty. And at 17-14, Broncos at the half. Merrill Hodge behind a sea of blockers, and the Steelers grab a 21-17 lead. Bubby, play action from his own end zone. Are you kidding? Dwight and the family Stone as everyday people with the catch. He might go all the way, but he steps out on the 3. Steelers didn't score here. But no matter, they score here. Brister, Eric Green, look at 1, 2, 3 tackles. This guy is like 2 first-round picks. He's that size, 27-17. Then Brister, Green. Are you kidding? 5 touchdowns in 2 weeks. The Steelers in October, a juggernaut as they